I can't wait to show you my toys.
Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to look at the DC Collectibles DC Essentials Red Hood action figure. This is the most recent figure from DC Essentials in the line, and it's sort of not in a traditional series, just a single figure released. But you know what? He looks really cool. I'm all in for the DC Essentials, anything Bat and related. So let's go and check out the packaging here. DC Essentials Red Hood, DC Collectibles, direct from the source. This is figure number 18. And then you can see the guy here. He's got his red helmet, the Batman logo on him, his biker jacket. Looks like removable pistols from his holsters, and a couple of alternate trigger-wielding hands. So on the top, we've got the Bat logo. This guy is a member of the Bat family. The side, here's the figure posed up with his gun out. Nothing on the other side. The bottom, we have a barcode in case anybody needs it, as well as a bunch of credits. And then on the back, you can see we've got the Red Hood here. And then the next assortment, which are 4 figures, we've got Green Lantern Hal Jordan, Yellow Lantern Sinestro, Nightfall Batman, and Nightfall Catwoman. Very interested in getting these two. Look nice, traditional, classic, comic accurate Batman, and the nice Balint Purple Catwoman. And I did end up getting 2 of these figures, one to keep my complete unopened 6 and 7 inch Batman collection, and one to open and enjoy. And as you can see, here he is taking his rightful place in front of my Batman comics with the other Bat related unopened figures. There are all the other DC Essential figures above him. Alright, well now that we got this guy out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a total of 4 hands, 2 fisted, and with 2 with trigger fingers. He does come with 2 pistols, which appear to be able to be holstered in his functioning holsters. But before we look at his accessories, let's check out the actual figure. I must say I'm pretty excited for this guy. He looks to be the definitive 7-inch scale, proper biker outfit Red Hood from the comics. Sure, DC Collectibles made that Red Hood from Arkham Knight, and it's a really nice figure, but it's not comic accurate. Mattel recently released their 6-inch version. So let's check out the head here. You can see the shiny red, the lines on it. His eyes are white with black around the white. Looks pretty good. Then we've got his biker jacket. See, he's got his collar popped up here. He's got the Batman logo on his chest. This guy's a member of the Bat family. You can see his holsters should work with his pistols just fine. I love when they do that stuff. Got some shin guards here. See, he's got some metal tips or whatnot on his knuckles. Overall, I must say, I think this guy's looking really nice. And then here he is, broken down as far as he can go with all of his removable parts detached. I actually found that his head comes off with complete ease, but since he doesn't come with an alternate head, I just had to leave it on there. So now let's take a look at his accessories. He's got the 4 hands and 2 pistols. His pistols here look very similar to the Red Hood and the Outlaws release from the New 52, but they are a little bit different. It's pretty basic, thin, just some standard pistols. So let's go ahead and check out his hands first. Here he is wearing his 2 fisted hands. And then here he is wearing his trigger finger hands. These are the hands I'll probably keep on him most of the time, as I'm going to want easy access for him to be able to hold his pistols. But I'll keep his fisted hand separated and close by. And then here he is holding both of his pistols. Like I said before, pretty basic, silver. I do like that his trigger actually fits into the trigger, his finger. Overall, looks pretty good. Glad this Red Hood at least came with some functioning guns. The Mattel one were sculpted into his holsters. And I must say, so far, just very impressed with the way this guy looks. And then here he is with his pistols holstered onto his side. Looks good. Really, really, really love functioning weapon holsters. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at his accessories, next let's check out the height of this figure. So this guy here, from bottom to top, is sitting at just about 6 3/4 inches, maybe just a hair above that, probably 6.8 or so inches. Next, let's check out his articulation. So let's go and start off with the head here. You can rotate from side to side. You can look down pretty far, and it can look up quite a bit as well. That's really nice. You could be looking up on top of a building or down from the top of a building. Then his shoulders, they go out about that far. Not quite 90 degrees, but pretty close. It's like a ball joint side of there, up, down, around. He's got the bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that and go all the way up. He can remove his mask. All kind of cool stuff. Cover up his face like he's embarrassed. Scratch his head like he's thinking. His wrists can swivel around and they're hinged as well. He does have a traditional ab crunch here. He's got a traditional waist swivel below that. His legs can go out, looks like about 90 degrees, kind of shoves his straps up a little bit. Forward, about that far. Back, not at all. It's ball joint side of here. He's got his thigh cuts below that. Double joint knees below that. And then his ankle articulation. So, a little bit annoying and a little bit difficult to execute. First of all, they can go forward and back, no problem. They can rotate from side to side. And if you want them to rock, you have to take this ball on the inside and rotate it around, and then hold it in place, put his foot back in place, then it can rock. A little bit difficult to execute, but overall, standard DC Essentials articulation, and it's quite a bit. Next, let's look at some action figure reuse. So this guy here looks like with Batman, who's the same as Nightwing, and Superman and Flash, and a whole bunch of these other figures, Deathstroke, etc. Looks like we share the same parts. The knee's the same. The top part of the leg is the same. This sort of thigh area here is the same. The crotch is the same with a different belt. The bottom of the ab crunch is the same. The top part of the chest is the same. And it looks like that's about it. He's got a little bit different down here. His arms are different because of the jacket. So reuse is this, and the knees. Now, I had mentioned earlier that his head was easily removable, and that is accurate of a lot of the DC Essentials figures. You can just pop it off with pretty much complete ease. Now, something kind of cool. The Mattel version that was recently released came with an alternate head with his helmet off. And you know what? You can pop this thing on here pretty easily. Sits a little bit low, but you know what? Really doesn't look too bad. It's kind of nice to have that little alternate option if you've got the other figure too. And then here he is holding his alternate head as if he just took his helmet off. Now here's a motorcycle that I've always used for my Red Hood figures. This is a Marvel Legends motorcycle, so it might be a little bit small for this guy, but it looks pretty nice on display with him like this. This is a Wolverine motorcycle. He's definitely a little bit too big for it, but it works. And then here's my Red Hood shelf. This is sort of his base where he can hang out. I got this diorama for really cheap on eBay, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a Punisher diorama, as you can see the skull there. But you know what? It works out great. Here he is with his mask off, all his gear sitting there, and his helmet there. You can see a little bit more stuff on the side. That's where his motorcycle stays. Usually keep all the extra Red Hoods in the corner here on display, and then him here in his diorama. Next, let's check him out compared with some other action figures. Let's go and start off by checking him out compared with some other Jason Todd figures, then with all the other DC Essentials figures, and then to see how he fits in with some other action figure lines if you're interested in mixing him. So here's this Red Hood next to a DC Universe Classics Dick Grayson Robin. This here was the variant Robin they released. There were two different head sculpts. So me personally, I always use this for my Jason Todd. Back in the original continuity, Jason Todd wore the same original Robin costume as Dick Grayson. I believe New 52 retconned it, so he had a different costume. But to me, it always worked out. This was the original non-variant Dick Grayson. He had the sort of curls on his head. I always thought they were different enough for me to be able to pretend they were different people in my action figure collection. So this was always the original Jason Todd Robin for me. And then over the years, DC Direct made a couple of Jason Todd figures that were not in his Red Hood outfit. On the left, we've got Jason Todd as Hush, and on the right, we've got Jason Todd from Batman Reborn, when Batman sort of passed away, and everyone was trying to take his place. This is Jason Todd's attempt to be Batman. And back at that point, those are the only Jason Todd figures they had made. They didn't make any of them in his Red Hood biker outfit. So many years ago, I customized this Red Hood. This is from a Marvel Legends body. It always worked very well as a placeholder until someone finally made a Red Hood figure. So at one point, DC Direct finally gave us a biker Red Hood. I believe this was from New 52, Red Hood of the Outlaws, the comics. And you know what? The sculpt's pretty good. The articulation's pretty good. But he has these damn knives sticking off his arms. That wasn't even his main look. That was something I think it was for a very brief period of time in the comics that normally didn't have those. I always wanted to cut them off. I don't care how sort of jagged it'd be over there. It'd be better than this. But never could bring myself to do it. Same time, finally got a Red Hood in this look. But honestly, prefer my custom at this point just because of those stupid little knives. And then just a couple of months ago, Mattel finally gave us a biker Red Hood in their Multiverse line. DC Universe Classics never made one. Multiverse finally did. He looks pretty good, although here it is 10 years after we should have initially gotten one. Mattel's previous Jason Todd Red Hood release was this. I mean, what were they thinking? He didn't use this very long at all either. Why would they not give us the biker version and give us this? And then DC Direct or DC Collectibles did give us this Red Hood. He's really nice. This is sort of the Arkham game version of the biker Red Hood. I like him quite a bit. This is after he finished being the Arkham Knight at the end of the game. This was a DLC that took place after the game. And then technically these guys are also Jason Todd action figures. Here we've got the Arkham Knight from Arkham Knight on the left, and then we've got Arkham Knight with his Arkham Knight mask off and a red hood helmet on instead. Technically, these are both Jason Todd action figures. They have recently introduced the Arkham Knight into the comics, and there's no way that guy's Jason Todd. So in my action figure world, I actually use this guy as a different character. And then here are all of the officially licensed Jason Todd figures that they've released so far. And then here, each of the Robins in their original costume, at least in my action figure world. We've got Dick Grayson here, Jason Todd here, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne. And then here they are in their modern costumes as the heroes they've turned into. We've got Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, and Robin. And then speaking of Red Hood, here are a couple of Joker as Red Hood figures. The one on the far left is a Secret Files and Origins DC Direct Joker as Red Hood, and the one on the far right is from Arkham Origins. And then let's not forget about the Red Hood gang as well. Next, let's check them out next to some other DC Essentials figures. Here's Batman and Deathstroke from the first assortment of DC Essentials. And then here they are with the next assortment of Batman DC Essentials figures. We've got Batgirl, Nightwing, Joker, and Harley Quinn. This was the only figure I got out of the next assortment. She's not really a Batman villain, but she's a really nice figure. And then here he is next to Mime, Marionette, and the Watchmen figures from the line Doomsday Clock. This line wasn't branded as DC Essentials, but they have the same articulation and share a lot of the same body types, so I consider it to be a branch off of DC Essentials. And then in case you're curious to see how he fits in with other action figure lines, here he is with some DST figures, Diamond Select toys. And here he is next to some McFarlane toy action figures. Here he is next to some NECA figures. And here he is next to some other DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Here he is next to some Mattel wrestling figures. Here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Here he is next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. Here he is next to some Mafex action figures. And then next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is next to some SH Figure Arts figures. So all in all, I'm going to say it's a very solid figure. This might be my favorite standard Red Hood figure to date. I did like the Mattel one, but that was more for 6-inch, and this one's more for 7-inch, a little bit better detailed figures. I do like the DC Essentials figures. I like their size, I like their articulation. The line is A-okay for me. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to go ahead and give him an 8 out of 10. This figure has definitely hit home run for me. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.